Hey everybody, it's Fishing the Mid-South, and today we are back to fishing the ditch. Right in front of me, off camera, I can see several fish hanging out in this debris field, for lack of a better word. They're not very big, and that's okay. That's nothing here is going to be. Oh, first cast, first fish. Yep, quick release. So we'll go over real quick. You funny, NJ. You funny. So today I'm using a one somewhere between a 1/32 and 1/50th ounce jig head, and these are Kalin, Kalin, jig bodies. This one's called Money. It's black on one side, red on the other, and has a chartreuse tail. Thanks for joining, NJ. Appreciate the support and laughter. Oh, just as it went in the water, I got hit again. Yep. Well, the fish are active. That's a good sign. So, another thing I another thing I wanted to discuss. Yesterday, I got in some Berkeley, or maybe Saturday. I don't know. Berkeley trout rods. They are what are they part of the lightning rod series. So this one is a 6.6 two-piece ultralight. Says it handles lures from 1/32 to a quarter ounce and line 2 to 6 pounds. Now, what I really like about this, and I've not seen this before on a panfish rod. So you've got two different nuts. You've got this nut to run up to snug up the reel, and then you have a locking nut. It's got a little O-ring or gasket or whatever there. So I love this. This is going to be one of the nice. I like that feature. It's got the reel seat that's got the little peek through holes on two sides, which really, I guess you can put your thumb on one, but I don't know that that's really anything more than for weight and to catch fishermen more than fish. But in any case, once again, I'm using that 4-pound crappie max. I forget exactly what they call it. It's a camo, but it's like a bright camo. It's got a section that's clear. It's got a section that's like high vis yellow and a section that's red. So you get a little bit of everything. And I have gone up into a tree. I'm glad only NJ was here to see this. Got it back though. um, so this is my first time with these Berkeleys. They were on sale for half price, like 25 bucks a piece, and it's hard to go wrong at 25 bucks a piece. And a wind knot, yay me! Probably shouldn't mention that I just spooled this thing today, and apparently didn't spool it perfectly. Yep. Time to retie already. Yay me! Oh, but this lure has a nice action in the water. But neither here nor there. We're going to watch me retie. And yes, the wind knot is my fault. I try to put it on there straight, but just doesn't work that well sometimes. Let's see if I can get cut. So these are the joys of fishing live. I'd feel bad if it didn't happen to everybody. It happens to everybody, or at least that's the story I'm going to stick to. Okay, so there's a line I took off, and of course I'm going to throw it straight in the ground. I'm lying, throwing it in my pocket. That way nothing gets hung up in it, and God knows we got enough microplastics in the world that we don't need to add any more. So the knot I'm going to use is just a basic, I forget what it's called now. loop knot. There we go. So that it keeps a loop on the end of the jig. Just to give the jig, hopefully keep the jig moving a little more natural looking. You know, as natural as jigs look. So it's a beautiful day to be fishing, right? It's a beautiful day to be out for work. It's Memorial Day today, and hopefully most everybody got off work, although there are plenty of people who do not. Guess I probably should cast in the way that you guys can see as opposed to go in the other direction. My plan, of course, is to go down to the rocks, which is where they usually are hanging out in thickness. There we go. There's our first actual fish that got landed. And he is nothing to write home about. And he has the same opinion of me, so, you know, we're on even footing. The hooks I'm using, I think, are number 4 sickles. So they're a little big for some of these littler fish, but it'll get the job done. It's hard to find bulk packs of these very light jigs with the smaller hooks that I like, that aren't the shad dart style. I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't understand that style of jig or jig head. You can't put anything up as close to the head as I'd like, and just seems like you end up sliding a lot. The jig slides down a lot, which is a big enough problem on its own. Don't add more to it, right? Let's see here. Just the tripod a little closer to level here. And that's where I'm going to be fishing, so that's where I should be. There we go. That's right up to the edge of the rocks, and yeah, there's a bunch of small ones chasing them. I can see them in the water. Of course, they're not what I'm looking for. They can't even get the hook in their mouth, so there's that. Boy, these little guys are active. They're probably, ooh, I got one. They're all going to be this size. It's like a little batch at schooling together. Not big at all. 3, maybe 4 inches. But the goal actually is to get up into the rocks, but you always want to start on the front side of them so you don't drag the fish you catch through everything else and run some things off. There's another one. He's a little bit bigger, but not by much. Actually, he's a little bigger than I thought he was, but still not much. And I've already got so much bait sitting at home. Really not out to take anything home with me today. There's another one. So this is something I would have overlooked so much because this is, I mean, it's maybe 8 feet wide and maybe 3 to 4 feet deep in a good spot. A lot of what I'm fishing is less than 2 feet deep. So this is not someplace that you would expect, or I would expect, to have a lot of fun fishing, but boy, I do. And when you, especially after you've gone out and really tried hard to catch, you know, some big bluegill or some crappie or some catfish or anything, and you know, you have a couple of days being skunked, and you're like, gonna give up fishing and throw all my stuff in the water. And you have come down here and you're like, hey, look, I'm not that bad. It's just the fish. It's only the fish. I'm perfect. Or that's the story I tell myself. Oh, this one's gonna be, no, it's not as nice as it felt. Yeah, dashed under a rock a little bit. He's not bad. Definitely Flathead out there would love to have you for dinner. And there. Hang on. Back in. Go on. A little further. In the water you go. Whee! Flop. There you went. Move a little closer down here to the rocks. So these rocks are still covered in dying vegetation from over the winter. Let's see if I'm still good in frame here. Yeah, close enough. And you can see some of the dying moss even floating. These guys, man, they get in those rocks. That's where you look at the rocks and you can see nothing. You throw a bait in there and then they just come out from under the rocks and try to dart right back under. And NJ, you're the one keeping score on the number of fish because I have no clue. I'm going to think of up to 5, and there he went. It's just insane how many fish you're catching. I'm looking over there and I can see just a bunch of them right under the surface of the water. I tried buying some polarizing film, thinking that put it on the camera lens and it would look better, or show some of the stuff under the water, but it really didn't make much of a difference that I could tell. And I'm getting hits from those little bitty ones. They're not really what I'm after. Yeah, got one anyway. Again, he looks smaller underwater, so he's still, maybe 4 inches, and come on. There he went. Slippery little buggers, that's for sure. We'll cast this other direction just once or twice real quick to see if I come up with anything different. As we know, the year class fish tend to stay together. They don't have a lot of threats, and they're no different than shad. I mean, you're either catching little shad or you're catching big shad or medium shad, but you're not typically catching them together. They tend to hang out with their own little size group. But under these rocks, that's where they'll spawn up in the rocks or just in front of them. And I'm behind them as far as I'm concerned. Actually, I'm in front of them as far as the water flows, but it gets a little deeper further down. Oh, got one, and he took me right into the stick. Let's get that cleared up. Stick's bigger than I want it to be. Come on, come this way. There you go. There we go, wiggling loose. Oh, and there's some little baby minnows in here too. That's good. Let me go across the rocks to the other side, see what I can come up with real quick. Oh, I don't know if you saw all the movement on the water, but a whole bunch of fish scattered as just passed over their head. Ooh, smallest one yet. Wow, NJ, it looks like you're the only person that's joined me today. Doesn't surprise me. That's what happens when you have two subscribers, but I'm the other one, so that kind of explains it. I think I saw a notification that Parker was going live too, which I didn't know when I set this up, or I wouldn't have set it up. I'm coming back, don't worry. got hung up on some of this, I don't know, milkweed or whatever it is. Oh, yeah, it's just going past them, and they just looked at it and went, no thanks. I love the tail, the curly tail action on this jig. I love these kaolin bodies because they, you get 3 different colors in the body, and they're the only ones I know. I think it's called a triple threat. I'm gonna say grub, but triple threat something or another. And that's due to the 3 colors. If I scream like a little girl, it's because last time I passed through here, there's a little snake. I think it was a water snake, but I didn't get a long enough look at him. Run, Snaky, run, please. Please. It's also why I'm wearing boots today. I'm not overly scared of snakes, but you know. Uncle Jeep, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Let's see how the camera looks. It's still in it? Yeah, okay. So down here on the other side, like I say, it's a little deeper right here, and there's a tree right there. And over there's a little rock pile, and had a hit. Oh, and there's another one. These are the days you live for, aren't they? Pull it out of one fish's mouth, another one wants it. There's one, just hit it. And here are other fish coming up out from one of those rocks like I was talking about. Although I have seen a ton of minnows around here, so these fish may be, you know, kind of full. A couple days ago, I saw that one that was cleaning up a bed. So this should be bedding here pretty soon if they're not already. And next trick. No matter what I use, I always end up with this problem. The jig just likes to slide down. Of course, you know, an answer to that is super glue. Problem with super glue is when you open it and use a little bit, you end up with a with the top sticking to the glue or getting glued on or the glue drying out or whatever. This is Loctite Super Gel, and you just squeeze the sides of it, get a little bit out, the jig body back in place. Of course, this one actually got ripped, so I don't know how long this is going to hold, but longer than 0. And just let that sit for just a second. See if I can push this jig up just a little higher on the head. There we go. Kind of bite into a little bit more of the body. So as I've been standing here looking, and I'll put it where I think maybe you guys can see it, but probably not. There's a lot of fish in here. You see one over there. He seems to be protecting something, but I don't see a cleaned off spot where he, you know, like an actual bed. Oh, that was a bigger one. I didn't say big, I said bigger. So there we go. Hey, Fins and Fines. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining. Another green sunfish. Yep, that body has had it. Let me grab another body out of here. I usually make the mistake of just not bringing extra bodies and having everything already put on a jig, which is a good thing. Anyway. Except when your body gets torn up. You know, I don't want to retackle that. So the old body comes off and a new one goes on. Now, probably my fault that that one tore so quickly. This is one of those barbed hooks that it has a lead barb on it. If you don't give it enough room, when it goes through, it just, kind of rips the bait in half by itself. Pinch it, push it up. There we go. And for those people who are new to putting jig bodies on jigs or soft plastics on anything, I don't care how easy it looks, it ain't. It takes a lot of practice. So if you ever find any miscolored ones or whatever on sale, just dirt cheap, buy them and practice. Tail has such good action on it. Glasses up here. Now, I apologize for not being more engaged with chat, but it's a little hard when you're trying to fish. I can't read because I took my glasses off. Yeah, I sound like John Parker, don't I? Took the bait off my hook, now I can't catch a fish. There's one. We're going to keep it. Yep. Ooh, bluegill. Ooh. No, sorry. Still a green sunfish. Like, that thing's got a big mouth. You take this jig body. I'm going to catch both of them. Just kind of rub it on the outside of the fish. We're not trying to take the slime coat off the fish or anything. We're just trying to get a little flavor. And back he goes. To me, that seems to help. They'll come at the bait one way, just on reaction or how it looks, but when they taste it, and it's like, what's this nonsense? And one of the secrets to being able to catch finicky fish is to let them hold on the bait a little longer, so they get a little further down. So when you set the hook, there's something there. Let this one sink to the bottom before I do anything with it. So I've kind of just been swimming it. I'm gonna try fishing it more like just a jig. Pulling it up and then it drop, pulling it up. Oh, there was a bite. Didn't keep it? No. Now he's back at it. Yeah, here we go. Oh, he still got off. Little bugger. So this is just your basic ditch in a residential area. Doesn't feed anything anywhere close to here. It's a runoff ditch. But there's always some water in it, at least in the deeper, even if we didn't have rain for a long time, the deeper parts would still have some water. It's fed by an underground stream, but not very much. It's just a little underground stream. So that spring wouldn't be enough to keep the water flowing, but between different times it rains, we end up with enough water in here. Like I said, there's some spots that are 3 or 4 feet deep. The fish tend to stay there. As a matter of fact, I've never seen all of these rocks out of the water to where it was impassable. It's been a tight squeeze and a shallow squeeze before, but not where I could just, not where everything was under the water. So my point here is, you got a little drainage ditch somewhere in your neighborhood, go check it out. It may have a lot more life in there than you expect it to have. There's another one. Another light color one, but definitely still a green sunfish. I always want to jump out of my hand before I can let it back in. Come on, baby. I'm trying. He managed to get himself just stuck good. Yeah, buddy. There you are. Now you're back in the water. And that was that tree I keep trying to avoid. And I managed to pick up, well, managed to get bit anyway. Let's see if I can read again. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Bluegill and especially these green sunfish. These green sunfish are just violent little eaters. Last time when I ended up eating my bait, my jig, my plastic right off the body. I just tried jigging with nothing on it and see what happened. Because when they are hungry, or when they're feeding, they are not picky. I keep getting little hits. Let's see what's hanging right over there on that shore. Something that went. Ooh, that one actually wanted to play. And this is a nice sized green sunfish, at least for this ditch. Here, let me look further out, so it looks like it's like 50 inches. It's 6 or 7. And he didn't want to stay any longer than he had to. He had places to go and people to see. It's another thing that I've learned through fishing. If you happen to hit the other bank, try to finesse it off of the bank just into the edge of the water. Because it really, when it lands over there and when you're shaking a little bit, fish can see that. And then it comes into their water. They're like, oh, dinner. Another good, decent sized fish. Now, NJ was supposed to be keeping up with the number of fish I've caught, so I haven't heard from him, so I'm going to go with 700 at this point. Sure, the replay will show differently, but we're not talking about replays here, are we? Thought I had him. There's one right over there in the pool. Nope. Didn't even get to him before everybody else thought it was a good looking thing to eat. Yep. I always love it when I set the hook and I manage to catch the tail of the jig. I'm special that way. Here's one playing with it. Okay, now give it up. Straight across here, I'm seeing some movement. I don't know. That wasn't where I was trying to get to, but we won't talk about that. There's that big rock that I keep thinking that there's got to be 50 fish hiding under, but every time I go around it, it does not get smacked. There, that's where I was wanting to go, and I kind of hit, and it's still going sideways. So, set the hook, and it is the small boy. Yeah, not much to talk about there. Idea on my hand. Yeah. We're going to get bass fishing. I'd have some good bait. And put this off of here. Gotta get back over in that spot and see what I come up with. Yes, like I say, land it over there. Let's drop it down in the water. The other thing it does is it's a very soft drop when it hits the water because you're coming off of the shoreline. And once again, I've hooked my own tail. Go a lot further down, see what I can get. Wow, nothing. The great thing is that I've got to come through these rocks every time I come back up, so keep expecting that maybe something will pop out under and grab them. No such luck. Let's go back over this way once. That should have had a hit. Should have had lots of hits. But as I come over these rocks, I do see a lot of fish in there. One of them was playing with it, but didn't think it looked like good dinner. Cross over here again. And there's that big rock I was talking about. Just feels like there should be stuff under it. And I'm gonna pass a fish, and he looked at it and was like, nope, there he came back for it and dropped it. That one was a tiny little fish. Oh, but he got my tail. So we'll try fishing with just a grub, see what happens. That's all we got left of him. No tail. But like I said the other day, that did not stop them at all. And got one. Ooh, he wanted it good too. He didn't get down his throat, but he thought real hard about it. Okay, don't bite down on it. There you go. There he is. Nice little sunfish. Now, if I were smart with as many of these fish as have tried to pull me into rocks, I would retie. But intelligence is overrated. Instead, I'm going to keep doing this until I lose it and then go, well, that was stupid. Yeah, went to a little few of the minnows there. Yeah, these guys are not hurting for food in here. So much life in this little drainage ditch. And it's got it. And let's hook it. Here we go. Another light colored one. So one of the ways that you can tell the green sunfish, well, I mean, bluegill have it too, but it's iridescent blue lines on the face. And of course, you got, like I said, the orange, yellow-orange tail and fins, and there's a black dot on top of the back of the dorsal fin, or at the base of the back of the dorsal fin, I should say. And of course, they have larger mouths than bluegill. They're kind of like, warmouth sized mouths. I'm trying to remember if red sunfish also, not red sunfish, shellcrackers, red ears. I can't remember if they have large mouth or not. I haven't caught one this year yet. Boy, do I want to, though. Those things are fun to catch. And shell crackers tend to run a little bigger than bluegill, so it makes them a good table fare. And the sun is gone behind clouds or something. There's a fish taking it. Again, it? Yep, I did. So I'm not able to see into the water as much, but I don't think I've caught anything that wasn't a green sunfish yet. Normally I'll pick up a bluegill, sometimes a bass. I'd like to pick up shiners or chubs or something. Just anything that tells me that there's an additional bait source in here that I can use. If he, like Creek Fishing Adventures, he'll pull out some, 4 or 5 inch shiners. I'm like, man, I want some of those. And I've seen some really decent sized creek chubs caught. Just not by me. Oh, so far I'm liking this Berkeley rod. I mean, I expected to when I ordered it. I thought I was going to hate it, but it's got that nice whippy action to it like the Cilillo does. And it's a 6'6", which is a size I like a lot better. 5.6s have their, in tight spaces, they're good to have. She leaves a little bit of casting distance with them. A couple of fish, thinking I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, I'm fishing where you guys can't see. Step down here just a little bit. Last year, I saw a lot of beds in this little area right over here, right in front of me. I don't know if they're there this year. I haven't been able to see them, but you can see the obvious little dimples, circles, whatever you want to call them. There's the smallest today. Actually, these things, they have no fear. He ain't much bigger than the jig. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I know catching little bitty fish is not that exciting, but something to do, and it's not far from the house, so. There's a fish that thinks he wants it. He let loose. Let's see if the other one wants it. Nope. Oh, there's another one. You're not even big enough to eat it. Okay. Oh, yes. He's bigger than nothing. That's a pretty nice one. Yeah, hand as a reference. Like I said, they've got a big mouth for the size of fish they are. Not anywhere near like a large mouth, but definitely something. Yeah, bigger than the most of your bluegill, most of your sunfish. I don't remember where I pulled him out of. There should be some over there in those rocks. If I can, it's a decent spot. Yep, there was a hit. And I believe I got these cowling grubs off of Bass Pro. I think that's where I got them. Like I say, I just like that it has three colors. Well, you know, before something bites the tail off, it has three colors. And you can get them fairly contrasting colors so that, you know, kind of a little bit of everything for somebody, you know. Oh man, a whole bunch of them attacked it right there. Try to clean some of this nastiness off of here. Well, that should be a money shot. A little on the outside of the rocks, but still. Whoop. Just like every other fish you know of, they tend to come shallow to feed. So while that's not deep water at all, for some reason, the deeper side of these rock patches, it's where they spend the bulk of their time. But when they're ready to feed, that's not where they hang out at. They move up to wherever they can run the bait to. Like I said, you know, especially when it starts getting hot, they like hiding under the rocks. But that's also where minnows like to hide, so I think it serves a dual purpose for them. Now, the downside of fishing one of these little spots like this, there's only so many fish you're going to catch in one spot. Then you're just going to have to move. And you're like, oh, ooh, I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope you can. There's a whole bunch of minnows right a little past the end of my rod. Just having a good time. Anyway, I hope y'all get to see this. So I think I've done my damage here. So now I'm going to go to some areas that I know are not as productive if I don't fall over first, which is a big if. Down there in the rocks is where definitely get the most action most of the time. Let's see which one's the short leg. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, Uncle Jeep. I've never caught a tilapia. When I lived in Texas, there was a lake there that we knew had them. Like I say, they're mostly herbivores. So you're not going to catch them with jigs, and especially not, you know, big spinner baits for bass and stuff. So I'm going to come at that same area I was fishing, come at it from the other side, other direction, see if I can't pick up a couple more out of there. And there's a wind knot just trying to happen. And this spot where I just hit, which I know you can't see, that one should have produced. think I fished them out. So go a little further up. So there's just a lot of debris that comes down. Some overhanging trees um, further down, and even much further down. Stuff falls in and comes down. Some cover for fish. Now I'm surprised at the bottom of this. So the clay. Oh, there's one. It's clay bottom. It's a very firm bottom. And then usually when I see the bottom of a lake and it's soft, I expect that it's muddy, that's going to be soft. This really is not soft. Another greenie. Keep wanting to get a pair of wading shoes or wading boots, but I am not as steady on my feet as I used to be. When I was younger, I felt like I was a human gyroscope. There's another fish. But now it's like, you see a curb and you're like, I bet I can trip over that. Another greenie. Speaking of tilapia, I watched a documentary a couple of years ago about tilapia farming. And if you like tilapia, farmed tilapia, go ahead and mute for a couple of minutes. Basically, what these farms do is they're striper ponds. They're farming stripers, and the stripers, of course, they eat food and it comes out, and you know how the digestion works. Well, they put the tilapia in there. They farm the tilapia because they eat the what the stripers leave behind. So it helps them in keeping their water clean. It also gives them another source of revenue. That's why I tend not to buy tilapia when I go to a restaurant or the grocery store. I'm like, those are the poop fish. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot less action down here. Although, there's a fish. I saw several in that area when I came through, but didn't expect they'd be biting. Another greenie. Okay, am I off camera? I am a little bit, aren't I? I'll bring you up a little closer to me. Although this goes against the fiber of my being, it says that ugly people shouldn't be on the internet, but that's the way life works, people. I found another channel a couple days ago. Guy that fishes in and around Memphis. I cannot remember. I want to say it's Mid-South Outdoors. And that may be right. It's not the old Catfish Karma channel that was Mid-South Outdoor Adventures. But I think it's Mid-South Outdoors. And he did a couple of really cool videos. Took his GoPro and basically sat it in the middle of a bed. Showed a lot of underwater footage. And I know exactly where he was at, so I'm like, oh, I knew there were bluegill goods in there, so good to see they're active this year. And he started, I want to say, in 21. He's got, I don't know, 2.9 thousand subscribers, something like that. Something way more than the 2 that I have. And since there have been 3 people in chat, don't forget to sub, you know? At least one of you hadn't, because there's only 2 subs in my chat. Ooh, is that a bass? I don't know what that is, but it's about to right off. It looked like it may have been a bass. Whatever it was a good 8 inches long. And once again, bait is falling off. It's another couple of throws, and I'll probably change out the body on it. Oh yeah, it is a bass. Which explains why nothing else is in that area right now. And that little bass can eat most of these green sunfish. Yeah, I'm not getting enough action off of this guy. Oh, I think I'll go ahead and change baits while I'm at it. See what other colors I have. This is my little bag here. So I'm going to go to a hot pink clear chartreuse tail. See what that does for me. It's more about the tail than anything, just having a bait with the tail on it. But I figured I'd change colors drastically and see if that changes anything for me. And this one, like I said, it's got like a pearlized look to it as well. Loop knot here. Well, thank you, Uncle Jeep. I was kind of kidding about the 2 subs and stuff, but I appreciate you subbing. Yeah, I think I remember when you subbed. It's been a long time. Back before I actually started doing any real content. I'm going to try to do better this year. One of my reasons for it, which may or may not sit well with people, I don't know, is I would like to actually, get monetized and actually get some money out of this, and make it, see if it could pay for a little bit of my hobby at least. But I get kind of discouraged when I see people like fishing and stuff, Keith, because that man has got a ton of subscribers, but he doesn't put out a whole lot of content, which kind of breaks everything you're told about YouTube. Put out content, put out a lot of content. Doesn't matter if it's good content or not, just put out content. And he puts out a lot of good content, or he puts out good content. He just doesn't put out, a video every week or even every 2 weeks, or sometimes it's a couple of months between his videos. So I'm still trying to figure out how to reach success. And then there's guys like Mike's Fishing Home that he was going live multiple times a week. and it took me a long time to get over that 1K hump. I mean, most of his shows were more centered around just talking, shooting the crap, whatever you want to call it. And I realize that his content is not necessarily for everybody, but watch hours was not his problem. It was the number of subs. So it's just kind of, I don't know, one of those things I've got to try to figure out. Then sometimes, this, I hate it when this happens. Where am I? I don't know if you can still see it or not, but that is actually the loop knot is intact. The jig, the hole in the eye of the jig is what did that. So, gives me a chance to change colors again. I'm going to give it something really gaudy. We got pearlized green, orange, and chartreuse. Let's see if I can make that one go right through. Oh, and I did. Let it go right through the eye. Where's my pliers? Close that eye up. See if that will come out. Oh, okay. So that last fish is enjoying that jig. Once you said, you're kidding me. You are. I think this is one of those where I turn the camera off before I say something. So tighten it, put the knot in there, and tighten up the jig eye so it could not come out. And before I get the first cast done, it came out. Let's try this again. Oh, I don't know if Kevin has a bloopers or not category, but that's pretty much going to be a good one right there. Now, I'm trying to get it to come out, and it will not. Let's see if I can get one cast out of it before it pops off. Yeah, my bass is back. Seriously, really? Not do what I wanted it to do. We'll see if I can get it working right. There we go. Got the twist out. I don't know if anybody's ever told you, but it's a cardinal sin to overfill a spinning reel. And I had overfilled it a little bit. I took some off thinking that would be enough. It was not. Yeah, let's get over there, way past where that bass is. We're going to come out near him, drop off. Right in front of him, he's looking at it. And I managed to drop it at just the right spot that it stuck under a log. I'm an idiot. I'm so glad that y'all came to watch this. You know, if you wanted to watch somebody who knew what they were doing and didn't make mistake after mistake after mistake, I'd like to invite you to go watch Mark, Catfish and Crappie. He's a lot better at this than I am. Oh. Remember, I used to watch a guy that played poker, and I mean, he would make the wrong move, and then he would get so mad. Or if somebody, if he had the better hand and got all the money in, and then cards didn't go his way, man, he would just throw a fit. Starting to feel like that guy. Ooh, there went a whole group of little minnows. Let's see, where'd my little bat? Yeah, he's still hanging over in that same area. See if I can entice him now. Yeah. Two pieces of vegetation sticking up. I skipped one and caught the other one. Welcome to my life. Bass came and looked at it again. For whatever reason, this one is not tracking straight in the water at all. Let's see, turn that just a little bit, see if that changes it. Kind of like the head is going one way and against where it's coming to. It's still doing it. That's not enough to make the action off, but I think the fish would care. Oh, that was a good bite. Not a good catch. I do like these really light jig heads. Take a lot longer to sink down to the bottom, and they're just committed to the bottom. Got him. Nope. Almost got him. Can glide over rocks on the bottom a little better. Here's another bite as soon as I hit the water. Let's try again, Mike. If you saw that there was a swirl right when it landed, but still in frame. I am still in frame. Let's see what we got. Hey, Pontoon Jody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Dustin. Thanks for coming. I'm just doing a little bit of fishing, making a fool out of myself in front of God and everybody. Dustin and Jody were on earlier. They kind of inspired me to get out and go fishing today. Been threatening to do it for a few days, and I was like, you know what? Got a little bit of time before I need to get ready for the night. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? What do we have? I know it's going to shock you. Another green sunfish that also doesn't want to stay for dinner. Come on. Almost there. One more little punt and plop. There you go. Good boy. So we've had a couple that were decent size, and we've had a lot that weren't. A good hit, but like 2-point conversion. It just didn't happen. Here's one. Well, there's part of one. So Jody would make a great team. I could catch all the bait, and you could catch all the flatheads. If it weren't for the fact that we're about 7 hours from each other, then I could take credit for the catfish he catches because it's my great bait that got him. Oop, there's something hit it. What we got? We got a skier. Sadly, he's bigger than the last couple I caught. And now he wants to go home and tell everybody about his experience with the guy in the shirt. Oh, and I apologize. I noticed on the left, like, shirt's huge on me. This is from before I lost my weight and it was clean. So, there's that. I don't know if any of you guys are remotely interested in losing weight, but the one thing I failed to do, because I never intended to really, I went on my keto diet, it was like, if I can stay on it for 2 days, I'll be doing great. And so I never had any before pictures. All of my before pictures were like, from the neck up, because when you're bigger, you don't like your full body pictures for some reason. So by the time I realized I was actually, going to lose some weight, I was down 50 plus pounds. And now I still say I'm cheating, but I think I'm off the diet. Need to get back on it. There's a little hit. Didn't turn into anything. I did save one pair of my old jeans. I'm down 10 inches in the waist. Whenever I need a little encouragement, I can look at, put the new pair on top of the old pair and go, oh boy. Still using that green orange tail. I could teach you pickles, Jody. Really? Hey, Tanya Hollis. Tanya, what gets me is when you talk about losing weight and there's some person in the area that's like, skinny as a rail and, oh, I just need to lose 5 pounds. I'm sitting there going, 5 pounds? That's lunch. Get out of here with that I need to lose weight stuff. Leave the weight loss for the people who professionally need to lose weight. Another greenie. So guys, I hope if you've learned anything today, other than I'm lousy at fishing, check out these drainage ditches in your area, because they're, they can be productive. I got one. There we go. Another greenie. Check my message real quick. Oh. I am an Uber catfish troll. I feed off of other people, and if you've ever tried to do a live stream, there's no one else to banter with. I mean, you got chat, but even then you stay a little behind, and a lot of my jokes have a very, very limited time frame. You read it 5 minutes later, oh, what's he talking about? So yeah, that's why I love watching, Dustin come up for Jody's chats, and other people do it too, just to read chat, just to, so the person who's fishing can do the fishing, and the person who's reading chat can engage with the audience and engage with the person who's doing the fishing, and that really, it's a nice setup. And I also have to get back into the frame of talking slower, because when I get excited, I talk fast. And then all my words jumble together and I sound like a northerner, which is not a bad. Northerners are not bad people. They just talk faster than southerners. You ever want to hear a really, really slow Southerner, Alabama. Oh, their accent is so beautiful, but boy, when you're just sitting there going, trying to have a conversation and can't, just hurry up, finish this thought. It's been 7 minutes. Just finish the sentence. But it is just a sweet Southern accent. I think this will be my last cast, and I'm gonna get ready to go do something tonight. Don't know what yet, but it'll be something. Oh, and I thought that was a bite. I may have just been going over something. And for anybody who's thinking about getting into bluegill fishing, sunfish fishing, and it's really weird because they do very much tap, 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 tap. Kind of like if you were running a jig over some rocks. It gives that little tap, tap, tap feeling. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether you're going over rocks or you're getting a bite. The best way is to stop reeling. It still starts getting hits. It's not the rocks. Oh, I said that was my last cast, didn't I? I am not good with the truth. I don't know if you saw the jig flying overhead. Some I guess they were minnows skimping. They were doing something. It was fun. I was there. And thanks to the magic of the internet, you were too. Okay, this is really my last cast because I really want to see what I can get from right there. Up, there's some taps. Really wanted to catch a fish for my last cast. Oh, is that bass? Oh, there's that bass again. That's not going to catch it. Got to get it in the water. I know, right? Okay, let's see if I can drop it down about a foot in front of his face. And he went the other way. He's like, I can eat anything in this creek, boy. And he really can. There's not much that will not fit in his mouth that's in here. Oh, and a couple times ago when I was down here, I saw what I thought was a nutria rat, so I went and looked it up. It was actually a muskrat. The difference is that the muskrat will move its tail back and forth, whereas a nutria just kind of lets the tail dangle behind him. Anyway, so that's the end of today for me. Thank you everybody for joining. So glad that y'all came in. I would say I hope you learned something, but yeah, you probably didn't. Yes, Tanya, I demand people's attention. I need attention. You are right. Bedtime catfish story. I'll get you, Jody. Anyway, thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.